Okay, guys, second message of the day. Okay, so plasma. Okay, so one of the girls on my page wanted to know a little bit more about plasma. Okay, so I wanted to try to help make these connections for you guys about what I see in hypnosis sessions, channeling the higher self with clients, and sort of kind of bring it together. Okay, so way before I started practicing hypnosis, I was already doing energetic sessions, Archangel sessions, channeling of the Seraphim Angelics to help people with their energy and also their body, and you know, those kinds of things. And I would deliver messages from Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and Yeshua. So the reason why I'm saying this is I want to tell you about one session that I did before hypnosis that got confirmed during my classes of hypnosis. Okay, so I did this session. It actually wasn't even a session. I'm trying to think back. Okay, it was like a cosmetic service because I have a wellness and cosmetic spa in Metairie, right outside New Orleans. And I think I was doing like eyelashes on this client. I was doing her eyelashes. And when I finished her eyelashes, after you do eyelashes on a client, you have to clean everything, get all the gel off, all this, right? So I'm cleaning her eyes, doing my normal thing. And I lift up her eyelid to like clean it with a Q-tip. And I noticed that she's like completely out, like knocked out, just out. And before I opened my business, I worked for a doctor practicing medical aesthetics, okay? So I was somewhat familiar with like what a person looks like when they've been put to sleep medically, okay? And so I lifted her eyes to clean her eyes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like she is like knocked out. And I'm like, is she breathing? Like I'm looking at her, and I mean, she was in such a deep state. She was breathing, very shallow, but breathing. And I was like, whoa. And because normally, you know, when you clean up a person from a procedure, they're gonna wake up, right? She didn't. So I asked my angels, I was like, guys, what's up? Like, what's going on? And they said, leave her. You know, we're working on her. And I was like, okay. And they said, you know, we're working on her body. And I said, no problem. So I got a book and sat there next to her and started reading. And I asked them, I was like, do you want me to do anything? And they were like, no, do not touch her. And that's very important what I'm telling you. They said, do not touch her. There's a lot of energy running through her body. Later on, I found out plasma, okay? But this is what they told me, and I just listened. And this particular client is a good friend of mine. She's 100% comfortable with me working on her and comfortable with energy work. So I knew she wouldn't care. And so I just left her sleeping, and I sat next to her and was reading my book, okay? An hour later, she wakes up on her own, and she was like, what just happened to me? And I was like, I don't know. I said, my angels told me not to touch you, that there was a lot of energy running through your body. And I just sat here and read my book and just was here in case you needed me. And she proceeds to tell me about where she went in her sleep, which was a place that I had seen in my dreams, okay? And in my dreams, I had gone to this, I think it's another realm or planet, okay? And it was a big forest with a star observatory in the center of the forest. It was at night. The place had 4 moons, okay? And I go through the observatory. I'm a guide in this dream, and I'm guiding all these people through this observatory. And we're interacting with this being who's inputting all this information. And we go through all that. We go back out into the woods, and we go down to like a containment area that had these big seals in it, like, you know, like a seal that swims in the water. And it swam up into my face and was like looking at me. And I was like, it's okay, everybody. It's okay. It's nice. It's not mean. So we proceeded into the water. Well, I walk everyone into the water in my dream, and we go underwater, and we can breathe underwater, okay? And as we go underwater, the seals changed, and they turned into giant white whales. And the whales were swimming over our head, and they were spotted with rainbow spots. They were so beautiful. And just touching their belly, you would just touch their belly as they swam like over you, would heal you, okay? Well, this was a dream I had like 2 weeks prior to this particular session. Well, she gets up after an hour of my angels like working on her, and I'm just sitting there reading a book, and she's like, what happened to me? I was like, I don't know. They just told me don't touch you, and they're working on you, and there's lots of energy in your body. She said, you took me into the water with these whales, and you told me it's okay, I can breathe, and they healed me. I mean, this really happened, you guys. And I was like, what? And this particular friend of mine had some serious issues. I don't want to, like, health issues. I don't want to mention these things because there's specific personal details about their life, but serious health issues. And she messaged me like a couple of days after that and said she could not believe how good she felt. Like, no pain, high energy, literally like nothing was going on in her body. And she had been dealing with a chronic health issue for years, okay? And I didn't do anything. It was all just angelics, okay? Well, keep that story with you for a second and come on down the road to when I first started taking classes for QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, with Dolores Cannon, okay? In that class, they talked about how when you have a person in deep state theta hypnosis and you're going through the healing part of the session, there's a part of the session where we guide the person to a place of healing through their higher self, through the angelics, okay? In the protocol, it says do not touch the client because it will feel like a shock because of all the energy running through their body. Plasma, okay? Let's go further. I did a session 3 weeks ago, and a friend of mine, in her session, I have her in deep state hypnosis. She goes to a pyramid. She activates herself from the pyramid. She says she sees like white lightning going all throughout the pyramid, and this is in hypnosis. And she touches the pyramid, and all that light comes through her body, okay? We finish up her session. We start, resetting the room. She's helping me reset the room because we work together. And I go to pull like the sheet off the bed, and it shocked me so hard. And we were already done with the session, okay? It was like boom. And if you watch my video yesterday on plasma, you'll know that when I got my what I don't even know what I want to call it, when I saw the shadow being walk through me, this was years ago, maybe 7-8 years ago, and I felt all that electrical energy running up and down the body. Hold on. When I felt all that light surging through the body, it was like fire, you guys. And that kind of, I might tag Yaz in this too, because she saw fire when she looked into the eyes of her angel, okay? So this is very real, you guys. Like, angelics, star beings, whatever you want to call them, okay, are using plasma to shift the frequency here in this realm that we call Earth. And your body, it can interact with plasma. If you recall, we are technically made of like stardust, minerals, water, we're made of all the elements, okay? So our body responds to the elements. And so you can see how this can be used. I have seen it in sessions where a person can come in for a QHHT session, okay, have a serious issue going on in their body, and you don't do anything. The practitioner is just guiding the person. We're just the guide, okay? The angelics are doing it, but they will come away with it with healing, okay? It's really amazing to witness this. So when we talk about plasma, this is real, and the stars, this is what they are composed of, to the best of our understanding of what stars are, okay? But we also know of ourselves that we have consciousness, which means they have consciousness, okay? And it always amazed me growing up that in science we were not taught to recognize the consciousness of all beings. And that doesn't make any sense. To me, that doesn't even make scientific sense. If a tree or a flower or the grass or a mushroom or an animal has similar components and ability to basically transmute energy, right? Like the trees absorb sunlight, they absorb things from the air, they convert this, the photosynthesis process, they turn it into something else, okay? Why wouldn't they also have consciousness? They do. So you can see where our culture, our society, without our indigenous ways, we should have had our indigenous connection, but it was severed here, especially in America, okay? But other places too, not just here. But without that connection, we've been raised without the understanding that everything has consciousness, everything. This is also why my guides told me, and for any of you who actually listen to this message all the way through, if you listen to this one part, my guides told me to meditate with and speak to the metals, the elements of metals that are used to create destruction, and start reminding them that they have a choice, that every element, every existence in this realm can choose love and peace, to go beyond the bigger picture, go deep to the root of the elements of what everything is made of, and start speaking to these elements and bring them back to peace. Okay, so I know this is a lot, but plasma is extremely powerful, and you have it in your body. Okay, and so use your plasma, use your light. Okay, use your activation for a channel for peace and wisdom, and I think we're going to do amazing things here. Okay, but I'm sure there's more as far as like sessions where we've seen strange things happen with plasma energy. Sometimes the lights start flickering. I mean, stuff just starts buzzing out. The phones will malfunction. Sometimes the recorder won't record the session if there's a lot of energy coming through there. I mean, yeah, I see this stuff daily. Okay, so it happens with me too. I am a very strong light, and I know that. And there's times when I'm talking to people and just like the lights will start flickering. Okay, so don't underestimate your potential. Okay, yeah. You are important, in what you think about and what you feel and what you focus on matters. Okay, so really, really pay attention to that. And I hope this helps. I'm going to tag some of the people that wanted to know about a little bit more about plasma here in this message as well. And if you guys have questions, let me know. And also check out my school platform. I set it up. I made a little video about it already. But if you're interested in connection and actually talking to me, and are open to being in a group setting like on Zoom, I set up a private community for all of us to interchange and exchange ideas and share concepts, and I can use some of my experience to help you guys. Okay, so check that out. I hope this helps. I love you guys. Bye.